Hello, everyone. Today is January the 8th, and I know I said I was going to be vlogging and posting every day, and unfortunately, I didn't, and that was part of my goals to do this year. And I've already have not fulfilled what I said I was supposed to do, but no surprise there. Um, as far as everything goes, I am still feeling very hopeful for the new year. I feel good about, I feel good about myself. I know I kind of been posting some heavy stuff, but the truth is that that's what's happening in my life, and unfortunately, I can't change any of that. And sometimes I do get really stuck in my feelings, and obviously, I am putting out my video diaries, and I'm sharing them. And I don't know if that's a good idea or not, to be honest with you. I just know that right now this is just something that I want to do, and I don't know why, but I feel like a lot of people my age are kind of going through similar things where we're divorced, or we're raising kids on our own, or we're just struggling. Well, no, I don't want to say struggling, because I don't feel like I'm struggling, but sometimes um, life's really hard. And I really felt like during the holidays, there was just a lot of stuff going on, and I just, oh my God, was feeling so many things, obviously. And they're big things too, they're like my daughter, such a, it really is a big thing for me because she's my daughter, she's my only daughter, she's my baby girl, and to know that she was struggling like that with drugs and oh Lord, and having a baby at such a young age. She was 19 years old, and me trying to step in and help her and different things like that, and how that has affected my life, and not all in a bad way either, and her having the baby, I want to really make clear, I don't feel that it was a bad decision. I think sometimes we choose what we choose, and through those hardships is really when we learn, because that is just the human predicament. We learn for some reason, like, we just learn through pain and through struggle. And I guess that's really the thing, like, you can't make people change. You can't want them to change so much that they want to change, or love them so much that you feel like they will change for you, because people don't. Just spoiler alert, people don't change for you, they change for themselves. And I know that personally, because in order for me to make the changes that I've made in my life, like the divorce, different things like that, it was because I was in such a struggle and such a place of pain and shame and embarrassment that I was no longer comfortable. And because I was no longer comfortable, it felt like I was pushed into making those changes, because I literally felt like I couldn't do this anymore. And if I did choose to stay and do this, it was just not going to be healthy for me anymore. It was just too painful, and it was just like my soul was telling me it was no longer right, and in a way that just could no longer be ignored anymore. I mean, I knew it for a long time, but I just could no longer ignore it and just like kind of like shove it down and just pretend that everything was okay. Um, I am really big on, well, I used to be really big on that because I definitely was people pleasing my whole life. Even when I was young, it was like, you're just taught a certain way. And again, like I said in my previous video, if you saw it, about the trauma that my mom had felt and growing up with her and her losing her entire family and different things like that, that it always felt like love had to be, like, love was a reward. It wasn't something that was freely given, that you, like, you really had to earn it, like with good grades, behaving, different things like that. And that was really hard for me to unlearn that I didn't have to be, I didn't have to fit in a box. And that was just really hard for me. And I just feel like through it all, I'm still unlearning and unpacking those things, that I don't have to perform for love. I don't have to perform to show somebody my worth. I don't have to fit into a mold to be worthy. And I did for a long time. Like, I wouldn't say things that I felt. I would just be quiet because I felt like I just didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to cause an argument. I didn't want to, rock the boat. So I would just sit there and be quiet and just, take it. And that was something that was learned through my mom. It was something that, especially in our, well, at the time in our Asian culture, it was definitely something that was really, looked upon like, oh, what a good child. And then, of course, with that rolling into my ex-husband, kind of like, he would make comments to me like, oh, because my mom wasn't married at the time, obviously to my father, he would always make comments like, oh, because you don't know what it's like because you don't have parents who are still married, and his parents are still married till this day. And it was always just like, kind of like shame, little shame thrown at me, and I'd be like, let me behave so that way I could earn my love for the day, the week, the whatever. And that is something that I am continuously unpacking and continuously learning, and really learning to give that to myself. And that's hard, because sometimes I don't feel good, sometimes things happen, sometimes it's just, life is just lifing, and I have to give my attention to the business, the kids, the baby, whatever it is. And it's a hard pill to swallow. And I guess in a way, I hope that you give yourself the love that you need. And I hope that you always remember that the love you give away always comes back to you. Maybe not from the person that you're giving it to, like your children, your husband, family members, whatever. But it does come back to you. And it's funny how it comes back to you, because it comes back from a stranger. It comes back from coworkers. It comes back from, really anybody. And I hope that everybody is a little kinder to themselves. Just 5% kinder. That's huge. If you could be 5% kinder to yourself and 5% kinder to more people, to the people around you. Give grace where it's needed, especially for yourself. Don't beat yourself up over things from the past. you know, I I wasn't always the most perfect parent, the most perfect wife, the most perfect partner, the most perfect daughter. Trust me, I have done some things that I am not proud of, and things that I don't even want to say that I deeply regret, because I feel like I've learned so much from them. But I think there were definitely things that I would definitely not have done in normal circumstances, and if I were obviously a little bit more healed and a little bit more aware of myself. Um, so I hope this resonates with you guys. Um, if you like it, like it. And if you have any questions, just leave me a comment. I will see you guys tomorrow. I promise.